In terms of residential, the rapid urbanization is very much there, increasing number of nuclear families, everybody knows about that particular part. In case of commercial, the growth drivers are IT sector, about 18% growth in 2008-2009 alone, which was one of the worst years in terms of ITs, but still it grew by 18%. FDI is also growing in terms of commercial. The retail rising consumerism, organized retail is growing, we already discussed that particular part. In case of hospitality, India is becoming a tourism destination, and also medical tourism, etc. is also coming up. And international events like Commonwealth Games, whichever way they are getting played out of the stadium rather than on the stadium. But still, that is also causing interest in this, and low-cost airlines are there. Even though low-cost airlines is a bleeding business, but still the companies want to have plans. They want to grow in a way. It's still not a very successful business in the country, but still they are growing. Market structure in terms of residential, highly fragmented, regional players. Most of the time you'll find that players are located only in Delhi or in Calcutta or in Mumbai. And even if they want to expand to other destinations, that doesn't happen. One more thing which I have noted, because I probably can see some of the players here sitting over here are from northern markets. What I have seen is that northern market player wants to go everywhere. He wants to go to Calcutta, he wants to go to Chennai, he wants to go to Bangalore. But the players in the southern markets and players in the western market do not want to generally leave their market. So that is one phenomenon over here in India. DLF also in other markets, they have not been that successful. Even though they have tried in Calcutta, Mumbai development, I think last 4 years they are trying to develop that Mumbai textile mills. But they are still not that successful. Because of the one thing is that real estate in India is not a central subject. The rules and regulation, as you change the state, the rules and regulations change. Even union territories and states also have different rules. Every municipal corporation has a different set of regulations. And because of this, like a jewelry business, real estate has become a highly local business. Even though companies want to try out new markets, but still it has not been that successful. In case of commercial, also dominated by a few large national developers like Unitech, DLF, etc. Regional players are also expanding. But shift to lease and maintenance model, that is also happening. That lease and instead of just selling it out, now people are also doing offices on a lease basis. They are maintaining these offices and then they are selling it to organized private equity players or somebody who is taking it, purchasing it en bloc rather than selling shop by shop or office by office. That model is also continuing. In case of retail, still it is dominated by unorganized retail. So organized retail in the country is still less than 10%. What we see today is still less than 10%. Almost more than 80% of our shops are mom and pop shops, small shops, and about 10% is what you call as a high street retail. Okay, so again, organized retail is still very much not there. Large corporate houses like Birla or Reliance, they are all obviously Future Group has already entered into this. They are entering into organized retail, and you will find that even every small player today who is manufacturing a particular case wants to now put up shops. He wants to get into retailing. Like for Nilkamal Plastics. They were making all sorts of plastic chairs and all that. Today you'll find Nilkamal has set up an at-home, a store, where almost everything which is made by Nilkamal and not made by Nilkamal is made available. So it's a more of a value addition thing for the company rather than actually getting profit out of that. And then they're establishing these chains and they're working in that particular fashion. In case of hospitality, corporate houses are entering into this. Developers tying up with major international chains. Now some of the chains have started realizing that they actually missed Indian markets. Hospitality thrives when the land prices are low, or when you actually capture the land at a low price. Hospitality that way is not a business where you can really go on making money on day-to-day business. It is more of a valuation which you capture by taking the land at a low rate, developing it, and then afterwards, when you sell it, then you make the money. Not on a daily business kind of thing. But hospitality chains, they actually missed the early market of India in 90s and early 2000s. But now major chains like Accor, like Hilton, they are re-entering and they are again trying to consolidate their position. And at the same time, budget hotels and service apartments are also very much coming up. In case of outlook, if you look, current shortage is close to 19.4 million units, predominantly middle and low income group. Actually, if you ask me, in this country, nobody is happy with the kind of housing what he has. That's the kind of situation. Barely 5% people would be happy with the kind of housing they have. Or those 5% people actually want farmhouses. So if you add to that particular part, almost everybody in this particular country is either looking for a bigger, a better, or another house. So that way, for years to come, the residential business in the country is going to thrive. That's what we can see. And mortgage finance is also very much there. That construction finance as well as home finance is very much penetrating in that market. The commercial market is expected to grow at 20 to 22% in next 5 years. But some very different trend is catching up. I think some of you who are working in Mumbai might have noted that in Mumbai, commercial real estate has always been highly priced, and the rentals etc. always been much higher. And in case of residential, prime residential also, it used to be at least 20-25% higher than the primest residential in Mumbai. I am taking the case of Nariman Point. When Nariman Point rentals were 350 rupees, then maybe the Malabar Hill buildings were still at 25,000 rupees or 30,000 rupees. But they were still lower than the prime commercial. But now the trend has changed. Prime commercial rentals are low, and some residential buildings are even quoted at twice or thrice that rate also. The developers in Mumbai are talking about residential building with 90,000 rupees a square foot or lakh rupees a square foot. And the costliest resident commercial building today in Mumbai would probably have a rental of 400 rupees, not more than that. So this is the new trend which is coming up, and same is the case in Delhi as well. In Delhi, very prime residential is going much costly than the commercial. Earlier the case was reverse. So here, some of the players actually have changed their plan in Mumbai parlance and have gone from a commercial development to residential development, and they have started selling over there. So in few years time, probably there will be shortage of IT, ITS and commercial space in Mumbai. And once you start doing that, then you are making yourself uncompetitive. That is the one trend which I am catching on for the commercial offices. IT/ITES sector is expected to require about 150 million square feet, that is 15 crore square feet of commercial office space by 2010. And actually some of the companies want to expand, but they are not getting the kind of spaces. That is the kind of problem. And again, the IT companies particularly do not want the space anywhere and everywhere, where they can find the HR and where the human resources are available. And when the human resources are also able to find homes is very important. Because the IT industry doesn't work only on that, their people also need to be happy. Mumbai is slowly becoming uncompetitive from that point of view, and IT companies actually have to go on paying very high salaries for their people. And so Bangalore and other places have already come up. So Bangalore still, you can say, has retained its competitive edge, but cities like Mumbai or cities like Gurgaon has started losing on that particular front. Organized retail is expected to grow at 19%, and share of organized retail, just you can see 5.6% is just the share. So it is less than 10% as far as organized retail is concerned. And by 2010, 220 million square feet of new retail space will be required. But again, there is a problem over here developers are facing. Those of you who are operating in this particular area, they would be knowing that retailers have started moving from a rent per square foot model to more of a revenue share kind of a model. They are saying that give us the space to us, and then they will give a percentage of share of our profit or our revenue will be giving to you. So again, for understanding of this, developers now need to understand the retail business also. How the guy operates, and what percentage of his revenue is going to give it to you, and whether it will make sense for you, that has started becoming important. And I think for about next 5 years at least, this kind of model will go on. Except for very prime retail space, other subprime spaces will actually get quoted on a revenue share basis rather than on a pure rental basis. So for that we need to understand other industries as well. Hospitality industry is also expected to grow at an average rate of 8.8%, but a budget hotel potential will always be high in India. And at the same time, service apartments and wellness, spas, etc., they are also coming up. Even there are some well-known chains from Thailand and Southeast Asia. They are also now making space in like Mandara and all this. They are also coming to India, where they had never seen India as a kind of a market, but they are also now coming.